Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
Hello. Good evening. Welcome all my narrators. Welcome everybody new that may just now be tuning in. Welcome to a special live edition of the Narrative Podcast. Well, it's not really special. I'm just live. I just felt pressure to say special live. I don't know. But anyway, welcome to a live edition of the Narrative Podcast. It is Wednesday, hump day. We are over the hump. Weekend coming up. So I hope everybody is doing their last minute meal prep if you're planning to celebrate the Turkey Day. No judgment, but we will be discussing that. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Hope everything went well this week. It's going well this week. I know I am. We're gearing up for this little, and I'm here in America, gearing up for tomorrow. So I hope you guys are doing your last minute prepping. I'm breaking my rule. I'm trying to get hope out of my vocabulary. But anyway, so I'm anticipating you enjoying your time with the family. Watch some football, do whatever little, traditions you have around this time of year. Get to do them. But anyway, diving into this podcast, I'm gonna break it down for people that are unfamiliar with my platform. So let's start at the very top. The premise behind my podcast, and then jump into the content and get us out of here for this evening. So first of all, my podcast is called the Narrative Podcast. And I'm calling it the Narrative Podcast for a reason, because I'm a firm believer that the media weaves a false narrative about original people and original culture. And they do this intentionally, primarily for profit, because, the degradation of our people sells news. So it's very profitable to always portray us in a negative light. So, they generate billions of dollars, making us look and sound bad. So what I wanted to do on my platform is build a platform where we're celebrating our successes and highlighting and showcasing us at our best instead of our worst. Because like I said, the media's job is to sell news, and they want to sell the news by trashing, assassinating our character, basically. And then another reason why the powers that be do this is, it's a form of psychological warfare. They want to bombard us with all these negative images and sound bites about ourselves to, project, a negative self-image on us. So, the things you, view with your eyes and the things you're listening to play a big part, in your subconscious, in your psyche. So like a lot of the crime we commit, against one another, that's because we've been programmed and conditioned to. While we do as full-grown men and women do need to, exert and take a form of self-accountability, a lot of things that we, experience in our community is because we've been programmed and conditioned to, do these things to each other, to view each other, in a certain way, and to not be, kind to one another. it's been ingrained into us, is what I'm saying, and they ingrained this, in television, in literature, newspapers, and you know, music, of course, and other things like magazines and just pretty much everything. So, it's up to us to, break the programming by putting positive frames of reference out in the universe and, gravitating towards the positive rather than the negative. So that's what I'm attempting to do on my platform. Um, Basically, my tagline is the Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. I will come to get to the original part in just a second, but yeah, that's essentially what I do here. I just provide positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. So, what do I mean by original? Um, I just recently had an epiphany about the word black. Um, I don't know why I didn't have this very long time ago, but it just recently came to me this year. So I'm now years old getting this epiphany about, the word black. Yeah, and then I also believe in the power of words on my platform. I believe whatever you release out of your mouth is a spiritual contract with the universe. You're bound to it. Your words take on, you know, physical manifestation. Like basically, words change and move the atmosphere and create things. So, powers that be, the people that created this language, people that did not look like us, saw fit to call us black. And in early civilizations, we did not refer to ourselves as black. So you can go in any dictionary, Oxford Dictionary, Mediterranean Dictionary, whatever dictionary, and you'll look up the word black. Um, like one of the very first things in the word black is it to say, people originating from Africa. Some dictionaries say Aboriginal people with African descent, or people, descending from Africa. Just like putting that there first to let you know black meaning coming from Africa or having lineage to Africa. Us, our people. And then they'll start, with all these nouns, pronouns, adjectives, in reference to the word black, and then they're all like negative, like black, dark, cloudy, dismal, depressed, um, and then they got examples of sentences, example sentence, black, not of God, a black day, a black plague. It's just everything bad is associated with the word black. And so, you may think I'm reaching, but, just keep that in mind and then look at the state of our people. Not just here in America, but abroad as well. Look at all the strife we're in. Look at all, our lives, the turmoil, the pain. Look at all that. Really take a really hard look at that and, what do we all call ourselves? Now, with that same, reasoning, go and look up the word original. There's hardly anything negative, no negative connotation surrounding the word original. And the original is the first, the original copy. Everything, under original is better or good. Original is like a cut above. It set the standard, it set the tone, it set the precedent. And I feel original, is more indicative of our people than black, because we were and are the original people on this planet. There wasn't any corner of the globe that we didn't originally inhabit. And everywhere we lived, we taught civilization. We bought inventions. We taught people how to think, how to read, how to build things, how to heal themselves, how to feed themselves, and yes, how to bathe themselves. People that did not look like us, not possess or possessing very small quantities of melanin, little to none, weren't even properly bathing themselves before they got introduced to us. Like literally dying from bad hygiene. But I digress. I think original is a more accurate description of us. And so on my platform, in reference to us, I will try to go out of my way to describe us as original rather than black. And that's where I'm going with that, concept of original versus black. So it's definitely not a self-hatred thing. It's just a self-realization thing. So I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of my lineage. I'm just, like I said, just opening my eyes and realizing a lot of things now as I'm getting older. And that was one of them. All right. So I'm going to dive into this content, and this is a live edition of my normal podcast. My normal podcast is split up into sections. The reason why I split it up into sections, because when I first started the podcast, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I would just talk, just like go off, and like I was talking in circles. And I was jumping from subject to subject, topic to topic, and I noticed like I was hardly getting any listeners because basically I was ranting. So what I did was just decide to break my podcast into sections, give each section a speaking point, and try to give myself a time limit to to deliver the content. And what I found was, it made me more visible online. So I'm more noticeable. My carbon footprint is highly defined now. I'm very easy to find. Also, it makes my content more digestible. So you're not just listening bored out of your mind or wondering, where I'm going with my points. So, because like now I got all my points bulleted, got speaking points that helps me keep from rambling and going off tangent, and just really just keep all my content nice and concise, and just have a real cohesive flow to it, and it'll just gel and resonate with you, and give you something to look forward to next time, to see what my content's going to be like next time. And I think it's safe to say each broadcast I get a little bit better, because each broadcast my listening audience grows. So I'm definitely going to eventually make the transition from this audio platform to a video platform. But for right now, this is paying the bills. I'm getting better at it. Like lots more opportunities are coming to me. I'm getting telephone calls and people want to see what's up with it. So, thanks for everybody supporting me. Continue to support me, and my platforms want to grow. I'm for the people. So, the Narrative Podcast, we moving. I'm out here. I'm bringing you that quality content, put us in a positive light instead of always a negative light. You know, always in strife, always in a toxic situation. Like, nah, we don't do that on here. We celebrate our existence. I don't do gossip. I don't rake brothers and sisters through the coals. So no shade room type stuff on here. I just my purpose of my podcast is to elevate, motivate, and inspire, and also to empower and impact our people, and just speak positivity over us. So my ultimate takeaway I want from my listeners that tune into my podcast is to realize the importance of, why it's so important to share positive content. And the reason why it's so important to share positive content on your platforms is because these days we're judged about the content that we post online. People associate you, with whatever content you post online. Say, for instance, if you're into sports, if you're a sports commentator, it makes sense for you to post, stuff about sports, various sports. If you're a comedian, it makes sense for you to post like comedic skits and, video and audio about comedy. If you're a hip hop artist, it makes sense for you to, to share hip hop related articles, about your favorite artist, the clothing, like everything about the culture. It makes sense for you to share that, right? So being an original man, being an original woman, does it make sense for us to always be sharing drug culture, gang culture, thought culture? Does that make sense? To always be sharing something violent, something dysfunctional, something toxic, something, showing us in a negative light? Does that make sense? No, it shouldn't. So we want to share stories about entrepreneurialism. We want to share stories about us raising our children correctly. We want to share stories about us having disputes, but civilly solving our disputes in a civil manner, not going back and forth online, calling each other names, not saying to be perfect and, holier than thou. If you don't like somebody, you don't have to hide your feelings about not liking somebody. But at the same time, realize our lineage, realize, whatever person you call yourself not liking, if they're original man or they're original woman, they face the same atrocities and same hurdles you face. So why make it, even easier for people outside of our culture to point and look at us and be like, see, told you they're stupid, told you they're animals, told you they're unlearned, told you they don't have any redeeming qualities. So, basically try to get in God mode and goddess mode. That's what I'm trying to promote on my platform, for us to get, elevate to our former higher selves instead of all this low vibrational, all this toxic, all this violence, all this chaos and debauchery and just, things not of us, but things that we've inherited and things that have been ingrained into us. Basically we acting out of character out here on these streets, because that's not who we are. That's who we've been programmed to be. So with no further ado, I'm going to dive into this content. And then after my content, I'm going to give you, the new listeners, a breakdown of my format for a normal broadcast day of the Narrative Podcast. And then I'm going to dive into some commentary and then leave y'all to, do your prep for your holiday meal or whatever you got going on this evening. But here we go. Narrative Podcast, sharing positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. Let's go. So, what I do on my podcast, on my live editions, I share articles, positive articles. Original people are doing positive things, and the types of stories that I share are inspiring, and I hope it inspire. I got that little nasty word, hope. So it's with my anticipation. I anticipate me sharing these articles will inspire you to, share something positive on your platform. Putting some positivity out in the atmosphere. I try to accumulate on my lives. I never know what days I'm going to go live, what days I'm gonna have available to go live, or if I even want to go live. But what I do is just, if I see something positive, I just take a mental note. I write it down, or if it pops up in my feed on a random scroll, I might screenshot it. Just something that is inspiring, something that made my day, something that made me think, And the thing we need to keep on putting out in the atmosphere is it is possible. Everything they throw at us, we've faced it, overcame it, and are 1,010% better because of it. So they've tried to come up with diseases. This system, this socioeconomic system that got us here in America, this little cracker box they got us in, pardon the, phrase to any Caucasian people that might be listening. But, hey, sometimes you gotta call a spade, But, yeah. Anyway, on to my first article. So the headline reads, Attorney becomes award-winning author, won 3 international awards for a book, Systemic Land Theft, and it was also voted top 28 Black history books of all time. So, like I said, I will say the word Black, I try to insert the word original as much as possible, but if I'm reading the article and it says Black in the article, I'm probably not going to do that. But anyway, the sister's name is Jillian Shaw. She's a founder and attorney in the areas of agricultural, food systems, and asset protection. She was also recognized as one of 3, Black women in the world with an LLM in agriculture law. She also has a nonprofit called FARM, which is an acronym for Family Agriculture Resources Management and Services. Or Management Services, So FARM, yeah. Also in 2017, she was recognized as a food change maker by Cliff Bar Company. And if you would like to know more about Mrs. I don't know why I just want to say Shaw. It's her Shaw, his Shaw. I'm just saying Shaw. But I guess I was just had a flashback on a living single. Erica Alexander's character, Maxine Shaw. I don't know why, but her name is, the sister's name is Hishaw. I'm just saying Shaw. I don't know why. But anyway, her name is last name is Hishaw. To find out, she wears so many hats. I'd be literally like half an hour of my podcast just talking about all her accomplishments. So to get a better grasp of her, all what she got going on, go check out her website at JillianHishaw.com. And we're going to give a warm narrative podcast round of applause for the sister Jillian Hishaw. All right, next article. This is super light tonight, guys. I only got 3, and I'm going to share with you tonight. And then I'm going to go into my format for my normal broadcast day. And then deliver my commentary, just my little thoughts that I was thinking about, and wrap it up. All right, so second article. The headline reads, Meet Frederick Houston, the Air Force veteran that set up a $3 million business 1 year after his 4-year bid behind bars. He went to jail at 24 years old, and he went to jail for drug trafficking in Florida. Upon his release in 2013, he launched a $3 million tech company called Pige Only, Pigeonly. So I believe I'm pronouncing it right. They specialize in products for underserved communities, particularly incarcerated inmates and their families. So he basically was inspired to start the business when he realized that they price gouge inmates. I mean, that's kind of the point of jail, is to make it unpleasant as possible. So yes, in jail, like things are going to be like super duper expensive. He got inspired, buying phone cards in jail, where it's like you spending like $17 to talk for 15 to 20 minutes to a relative. So he's coming up with innovative ways for inmates to, save money on things like, phone calls. And he probably, like his tech company's probably inventing cell phones as well, because they let the inmates have cell phones in jail now. So he's doing a lot. Just thought I'd share that. Also, it's a story of redemption. You went in jail, did something wrong. A lot of brothers, they, get knocked in the system. They get out. I can't find a job. I can't do this. I can't do that. Boom. This brother went to jail, drug trafficking, launched a $3 million business. So don't never say what you can't do and what they won't let you do. But it is difficult now. Having said that, in the same breath, it is difficult when you got that little X on your back. So, and they make it very, very, very easy to get an X on your back, especially here in America. So just, we got choices. You just got to make the right one. All right, on to the next article. Meet Rashad and Kramard Johnson, the brothers behind a multi-million dollar tire business in the U.S. Caption reads, "Never give up." They launched a tire company called GTT Commercial Tires. The article did not say what the GTT stand for. So the eldest brother, which was Rashad, he had multiple jobs, and I guess he just like mentally filed it, put in his mental Rolodex from each job, and they played a big part in helping, then form the company. He did like sheetrock, I think welding. He had a whole lot of high-paying jobs, but his younger brother did as well, and he looked up to his older brother as a mentor, and eventually they collaborated together, and they went in on a joint venture for a car dealership. And so after the car dealership, they decided to focus just on tires, and bam, GTT Commercial Tires was born. So it's probably more complex than that, but like I said, I tried to keep these broadcasts under an hour, because like I said, I want my content to be digestible and resonate with you. Their story is a lot more complex than that. I'm just giving you the streamlined version. So, but you got the Google button. If you want to find out more to it, bam, you can just hit them up. Rashad and Kamard Johnson and the GTT Commercial Tire Company. So I'm going to give a narrative podcast warm round of applause for the Johnson brothers and the GTT Commercial Tire Company. Moving right along. And this is my last article for this evening, y'all. Article reads, the headline reads, "Meet Frederick Houston, the Air Force veteran, set up a $3 million business 1 year after his 4-year behind bars." Oh, wait, I just read that one. I think I got a third one. Was it? I kind of wrote it real weird. I know I got one more. Or was it? Yeah, because I wrote the sister. Oh, well, I guess that was all three of them. My bad. So I did the sister, and then, okay, that was the last one. Yeah. So they was super quick tonight. So Jillian, Frederick Houston, and the Johnson brothers. Yep. Yeah, that was a super duper light bite. But yeah. So those are all the articles. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope they inspired you and motivated you to not give up and keep on your path. And definitely share some positive content of your own about original brothers and original sisters doing extraordinary things on your timelines. So that's it for all the articles I have this evening. And now I'm going to break down, a full broadcast day of the Narrative Podcast, how I start each episode out with. So first section, I already told you I break them up into sections. The first section is called my promotional section or promo section. In that section, what I'm doing is giving original people that own or operate their own business the opportunity to receive free promotion from me for free on my platform to promote, their business, product, service, whatever they got going on. I promote it for 110% free. And the reason why I'm doing that is to, help do my part, generate the original people dollar and the original people community, helping them grow, branch out, grow their business, whatever. So the types of business people I hope or I anticipate that reach out to me is people, that have their own nonprofit organization. Also, have their own nonprofit organization or pay into their own nonprofit organization. Hire their own, do some type of philanthropy in the community, giving back. Those are the two types of people I really wish would reach out to me, because we can't just keep that me and mine mindset state. If we're going to move forward, especially with this liberation thing, it's going to take the whole village. But anyway, that's the free promotional section. So you just go back to the last time I had a full broadcast day, over the weekend, episode 155. And that'll contain, all the instructions on how to get your business, product, or service promoted. I'm not going to share the submission process on this live feed because, like I said, I'm trying to keep it brief and to the point. So if you would like, the intricate details on how to receive the free promotion, just, go through my episode log and hit up episode 155 to find out, how to get the free promotion. Same deal with my next section, because they share the same email addresses, but the way I'm separating the two is through the subject bars. So to get the free promotion in the subject bar, type promo, and then it's the same email address. My next section is actually a contest that I'm promoting specifically for this podcast. I call it the Chew on This contest. And I'm giving my listeners a bulk supply of their favorite snack simply by tuning in and, participating in the topic. And the topic is share your most recent Shopping While Black story, and then all the details and why and all that on my previous episode 155 of my full broadcast day. So it's the exact same email address, but, I'm separating them through the subject bars. So for the contest, in the subject bar, type Chew on This, and then / or dash Shopping While Black, or SWB in all caps. Body of the email, include your Shopping While Black story, your mailing address so I know where to send your favorite snack, and then also your favorite snack. And then that's it for that section. And then on to my next section is the highlight section. In the highlight section, what I'm doing is I'm highlighting businesses owned and operated by original men and women who, and the purpose of me doing this is basically to put out that positive frame of reference that you can start your own business if you want to, because it's ingrained into us to, not believe that we can do that we can't do for self. And they just, they ingrained it in us. They bombard us with all this negativity. And, you just at times, sometimes you just feel like you're a hamster, running on that treadmill that you're not going to get anywhere. It's just that continuous loop. But I share stories of people that just regular people like me and you just sat down and figured it out and, decided to go after their dream and ended up launching their own business, hiring their own, championing the cause, giving back to the community, paying into a nonprofit organization or starting their very own nonprofit organization. Most of the businesses that I highlight are family owned and operated. So like their entire family, they're employing their entire family. Also, that's generational wealth because like after one generation grows up, the next generation takes over the business, and they're also doing for the community as well. So those are the types of businesses that I highlight in that section. And then also, all the people that own and operate their own business, they also, like I said, are just regular people. They don't have an extensive educational background. They didn't have a lot of money to start their business. If they do have an extensive educational background, it didn't necessarily align up with the business that they're currently owning and operating. So they took many paths before they got to the main path that they're on currently now, running and operating their own business. So keep that in mind when you listen to that section. And that section is just to, empower, motivate, and inspire you to, if you would like to start your own business, it can be done. Just to hear something positive about people that literally, came from the mud and now they got like multi-million-dollar businesses. Or, making a good 5 figures a year if they're not making 6, 4 or 5, just from being like a 9 to 5-year. After the highlight section, I transitioned into a section that I call the spotlight section. And in the spotlight section, what I'm doing is spotlighting a prominent figure in our community. It's mainly just people in the entertainment industry. So it's like entertainers, like recording artists, actors, actresses, producers, writers, public figures, comedians, athletes, so on and so forth. But basically just famous people in the eye of the public that have a platform, that got a following, championing the cause, doing, philanthropy, doing humanitarian work, got their feet in the soil doing that, being a good example, doing some type of philanthropy, giving back, mentoring, basically just good representations of us. Or if it's not that, just the way they carry and conduct themselves. So those are the people that I usually give a spotlight to. And like I say all the time, until somebody disproves me, nobody on the internet was spotlighting anybody until me, Halsey Allen, on the Narrative Podcast, added the spotlight section to my podcast. And then now it's a resurgence of people spotlighting people. So I'm not angry, I'm not bitter, I'm actually happy, because if I started a wave for doing that, then, that's kind of like I served my purpose. I can take a bow. Because what I want to do is inspire my brothers and sisters to, say something positive about one another. Give it up to, brothers and sisters doing something positive with themselves. rather than always trying to find fault, trying to find negativity, always roasting somebody, like, talking bad about each other online, when we can just like really appreciate each other and everything we uh, bring to the table and celebrate all our accomplishments and just applaud the brotherhood and applaud the sisterhood instead of always going back and forth and demeaning and berating and denigrating one another online. So after the spotlight section, um, I transition into the health and wellness section. And the health and wellness section essentially is just basically uh, tips about total body wellness and the reason why we need total body wellness because we are constantly under fire. Like I said, they weaponize the media against us, and it wreaks havoc on our subconscious and psyche. And a caveat to that is it weakens our immune systems. So all this negativity that they bombard us with weakens our immune systems. Um, in addition to that, these mad scientists are putting things in our air, putting things in our food, in our water, our cosmetics that we use, soap, water, soap, deodorant, laundry detergent, dish detergent, like just common household items that, attack our unique cellular structure, aka our melanin. They break it down, they rearrange it, they dismantle it. They're ultimately trying to destroy it because they're ultimately trying to destroy us. Okay? This is war. We're under psychological attack, we're under financial attack, we're under spiritual attack. And in this section, what I'm just doing is dropping gems to stay armored up. Just promoting total body wellness. So basically, I'm promoting putting healthy things in your body, healthy things in your mind, healthy things in your spirit. And the types of things you'll probably hear in that section is the health benefits of a fruit, a vegetable, a plant, a herb, an extract. Some type of, grain, health benefits of a grain, you know what I mean, a herb. Physical exercises you can do to maintain vitality, mental wellness, mental exercises, mindfulness, mindful breathing, meditation, prayer, metaphysical stuff is the types of stuff I talk about in that section. Just anything to promote total body wellness in our community. Now, my podcast is for everybody to listen to. If you can listen to me and get something out of it, great. But my main focal point is my people. I'm an original man, so all of my content is geared towards my people, original men and original women. But if you are Spanish, you can listen to this. If you're Caucasian, you can listen to this. If you're Asian, you can listen to my podcast. But just know the bulk of all my content is directed towards my people. So, yeah. And in that section, most definitely the health and wellness tips is geared towards us, our unique cellular structure, our unique diet. After the health and wellness tip, I go into my speaking point of the day. And my speaking point of the day, I'm just addressing current issues as it relates to us. Sometimes it might be an issue in our community that's buzzing all over the internet, specifically in our community. But, if it's globally, if it's abroad, if it's, a hot button issue, like I'm breaking it down from our perspective, what's that mean for us? If I don't have a speaking point like that, sometimes I just go off my gut instinct, what we need to work on as a people, including self. So I don't never just say we need to without including me into the paradigm of that. Um, so, yeah, that's my speaking point of the day. Basically, what I'm doing is just telling our stories from our perspectives on our own terms and conditions, because history has taught us if we do not tell our own stories, we will have our stories told for us. So, basically, in that section, I'm just telling it right. Because if you want to tell our story, tell it right. And that's what I'm doing in the uh, speaking point of the day. And then my last section is my final thought of the day, or final thought. And the final thought is just a gem, a pearl of wisdom, just something super insightful, super deep. I'm trying to inspire critical thinking or just leave something to resonate with you and be like, I never thought about it like that. Or like, yo, that was deep. That's what that section's for. And then I round it out by just plugging anything I got going on, close out. Bam. You got the Narrative Podcast in its full entirety. That's my format. So I hope you check me out this weekend. Now, before I dive into my content commentary, just want to say a couple things, right? First off, so you do not miss my podcast when I'm broadcasting live. You can go to my YouTube channel. It's just a viewer channel. I haven't set up one just exclusively for the Narrative Podcast. You can go look at my viewer channel, Halsey Allen, and hit the subscribe button and hit your notification bell so you don't ever miss me while I'm broadcasting live for the Narrative Podcast, because this podcast is just it broadcasts directly to my YouTube, and then also broadcasts directly to my Twitter. So follow me on Twitter, Halsey I Stay Good on Twitter, and you will never miss me when I'm live. Still haven't figured out, how to get it to, broadcast live on my Instagram yet. I don't know why. Still just messing with it. It just keeps not doing it, and I keep contacting the customer service. They ain't telling me nothing, like how I can just make it do the live on Instagram, because I know the live on Instagram will win it for me, but I don't know. I'll figure it out some type of way. But yeah, that's how you don't miss me when I'm live. Also, a few lives ago, I was covering a story about a brother that changed his life around. He got falsely accused of a crime, and he's now a lawyer defending criminals, our people who got a raw deal, and helping them get their cases overturned. But I didn't know what the brother, went to jail for. I was reading article after article, because the source where I found it originally didn't say what he went to jail for. It's just like a formerly incarcerated inmate changed his life around. So the brother's name was Jared Adams, but it didn't say what he went to jail for. So he went to jail for rape, and that's the most horrible crime an original man can go to jail for, because that right there, that follows you around for darn near the rest of your life. Like, good luck trying to get a job and you got that on your record. Like, they do not play that rape stuff. And then, good Lord, don't have it you raped a Caucasian woman, you're a done dada. Because that's what they had him. He just went to a party, and chick said he raped her, sexually assaulted her. So did a 10-year bid, because a Caucasian woman said he raped her. But I digress. I just wanted to set that right. I just didn't have that information at that time. But yeah. Now diving into the commentary for this evening, I'm gonna keep it super simple. I might sprinkle a couple of little jewels in there too, about some things you can do to help yourself out or help ourselves out, self included, with this liberation thing. But first, what's tomorrow? What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And what are we commemorating with this holiday? We're commemorating uh, the pilgrims coming to the Americas. And, this is the little lie that they told us in school. Having formed a bond with the Native Americans of this continent. So they basically slaughtered and raped and pillaged and decimated the Native Americans living here, trying to impart and force their belief systems on the original men and the original women still living here, but yet we celebrate it every single year like clockwork. And our Native American brothers and sisters, or I'm sorry, I said my Native American brothers and sisters, my brothers and my sisters are deeply offended. So I can just drop the Native part, because what did I just say when I started, my podcast about the original man and the original woman? So, all this offense, we got to take offense too of this holiday, because for the simple fact, not all of us came here via the transatlantic slave trade. We didn't all come from Africa, as they tried to, program and condition us in school. A good 75% of us was already indigenously, aboriginally located here in the Americas. Was already here, bruh. So when, we hear a native talking about the white man did that to us, they talking about us. They talking about us. Many of these Native American tribes, they are Eurasians. They are Eurasians. I'm not going to go super in depth about what a Eurasian is, but many of these Native American tribes that own these hotels and casinos and, got these reservations, they are Eurasians. We are the original natives, good 75% of us, of the Americas. Start naming tribes, the Mississippi Indians, the Cherokee, the Chickasaw. I can go on and on and on. But that's just the point that I'm driving, that, when Native Americans react to this holiday, we should be reacting. We should have that same energy for that holiday, because not only did they come over here and colonize us, they separate us. They took the darker ones. After the Americans got established, they took the darker ones, and put them on plantations, called them black, and put them on plantations. Okay? But we was already here, baby. We was already here. So that same frustration most Native Americans have around this time of year, we can have that same frustration too. Because, that's us too. Now, the second part of my commentary is find your tribe. Find your tribe. You have to do the knowledge. You have to know where you come from to get where you're going. So you need to trace your lineage. because good 75% of us was already here. And find your tribe. And there's tons of resources online. There's tons of resources online to help you find your tribe, find your indigenous native tribe, and get that bread. You heard? So while we are pushing for the reparations, that's also another avenue to take. Because we do deserve reparations. It's not a handout. It's something owed to us because all these financial institutions that thrived from slave labor still exist today. I'm talking about the J.P. Morgans. I'm talking about the Wells Fargos. I'm talking about, all these banking institutions, financial institutions. All that was built on slave labor and still continues to thrive today. But not only them, I can go on and on and on. All the other stuff that was built on slave labor. So slavery was just basically a way to turn human beings into viable assets, not human beings. That's what it was turning us into. The word I'm searching for is kind of escaping me. Um, yeah. Intellectual property. Yeah, that's the word I was searching for. Basically, they turned us into intellectual property to avoid having to pay us. So that's what slavery was about in a nutshell. They turned us into intellectual property. Um, Another route, something I've been researching for us to get that bread, another alternative route we can go until we do get the reparations, um, is applying for a dual citizenship. Now, dual citizenship, this is extremely tedious work. Like it's paperwork. So if you don't like to read, that's probably not for you. Because like it can take anywhere from 3 to 5 years to properly apply for dual citizenship. But if it's properly done, if your dual citizenship is properly done, what it is basically like it's diplomatic immunity. Basically, it's like you can live here without having to be subjected by the laws of the land. It will grant you a form of diplomatic immunity. You can get put on a do not arrest record. Or, yeah, you can get put on a do not arrest, form. Do not to detain. There are certain tax shelters for you. They can't tax you for certain things. You can like buy houses without being taxed. You can buy vehicles without being taxed. You basically just you're living in America, but you're governing yourself and not subject to the laws of the land in a dual citizenship. But it has to be done accurately. If you're off by like a period, the dual citizenship just fall and collapse on you. So you really have to know what you're doing for the dual citizenship. I would recommend, if you're going to go that route, consulting with a Moorish brother. They are super proficient at the law, and a whole lot of them have dual citizenships. So if you know any Moors, they can help you with that. Because this is something that takes years. This is a process. This is like, it's really arduous, and you have to know what you're doing. But yeah, so that's an avenue we can take. Tracking down your original tribe to prove your lineage for your tribe, your native tribe. That's one. And then the dual citizenship. And then, of course, we're pressing for that reparations that's owed to us. Not a handout, it's what's owed to us. So we got to keep drilling that point. We got to keep on applying pressure, especially now while the political season's going on. We have to make these politicians keep that conversation circumventing. If the talks of reparations is not going on in your neck of the woods, create, a party, um, create the space of reparations in your neck of the woods because this is important. This is something that's owed to us. It's not a loan. It's not a handout. This is money that they owe us, that they're capitalizing off us. That's why we can never let it go. So why else do we need the reparations? To paraphrase the Dave Chappelle skit, the 444, it's not just for slavery, it's for all of it. Fucking all of it. I try not to curse on my podcast, but I had to make my point. It's for fucking all of it. It's for the slavery. It's for the Jim Crow laws. It's for the civil rights, the human rights era, the civil rights era, the COINTELPRO, the all the scientific experimentation we had done on us. The 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 crops, the crop circles, not crop circles, but the when they're spraying the damn chemicals, the pesticides over our neighborhoods. Chemtrails, excuse me. The chemtrails is for, the tainted water, the tainted food. It's for all of it. It's for what they do, how they weaponize this media. It's for the, the compartmentalized racism, the institutionalized racism, the individualized racism, you know? So that's why we need the reparations. But enjoy your Turkey Day. But while you're enjoying it, just remember, what the holiday is about. So when we're sitting down in front of that bird, eating on that dead bird carcass, just remember, like where we got that from. Just because, I'm not trying to like crap in nobody's cornflakes and be a negative Nate. But yeah, Thanksgiving, that's just a holiday where we're celebrating colonization. So not just, when they say the Native Americans, what they did to the Native Americans. No, being an original man and an original woman, you're included in that because most of us was already here in the Americas. So while some of us did come over here through the transatlantic slave trade, a good 75% of us was already here. So that we're included in that, the frustration from Thanksgiving. So never ever forget that. Never ever let the, conversation shift away from that. Because like I said, most of these tribal councils, the ones that got all this bread, the ones that got the hotels and the casinos, yeah, that's money for we should be having. Because they ain't even the real ones. They the knockoff versions of the real ones. They the Eurasians. And I'm not going to go into what a Eurasian is on this segment because I'm trying to keep it brief to the point. But Google it, do your research. They the Eurasians. We the original carbon copy, the original natives. That's why it says on most job applications, what are you? Pacific Islander, Native American, Asian. And then when you flip to us, black, Spanish, Spanish, black, don't speak Spanish, speak Spanish. But yeah, I think that'll do it. That's my time for this live broadcast. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me and tuning in to this live edition of the Narrative Podcast. Thank you so much. Please keep on tuning in to help my platform grow. Support me by downloading this episode when I share it back. Download this episode of the Narrative Podcast and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. Just visit it. Hit the download button, Narrative Podcast. Make sure it's the right one, the one hosted by me, Halsey Allen. All the other ones is all the other ones. Make sure you downloading the Narrative Podcast, though. And then another way you can support me, I have my own personal poetry blog called Halsey's Poetry Corner. It's on blogger.com, powered by Adam. And the web address is www.mrhalseysblogs.com. It's called Halsey's Poetry Corner. It's really insightful poetry that I just kind of write in the spur of the moment. I was posting every single day. I think I fell off around late October. I'm trying to get my consistency back as far as posting. Just know every single day that I'm not posting, I'm still writing. Like, you don't even know how many notebooks I go through in a week. Like, notebooks is like a big part of my budget. I'm always writing poetry, taking notes, writing them on. Like, when I get inspired, if I pick up a napkin and write a poem, pull out my phone in the notepad, write poetry. So poetry is just a kind of real big part of my life. So go check that out. It's called Halsey's Poetry Corner at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. And the way you support that is by sharing a poem from Halsey's Poetry Corner on all your platforms, on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your TikTok, on your YouTube, on whatever platform you got. Take that link from Halsey's Poetry Corner and share it on all your platforms. So like I said, yeah. Well, speaking of poetry, I have just written a book of poetry. It's just a little 30-page poem book, book of poetry. I titled it The Black Card. It's available in the Poetizer bookstore. So go to Poetizer bookstore and purchase you a copy of The Black Card. Take that home for the holidays. And that's it. Please join me this weekend for a full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Now, for my live ones, I already told you, I don't never know what days that I'm going to go live. So always tune in every single day, because I don't ever know when I'm going to go live to broadcast a live edition of the Narrative Podcast. But tune in every single day. And that'll do it. Thanks for tuning in and listening to me. This has been another edition of the Narrative Podcast. Halsey Allen and the Narrative Podcast signing off. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your holiday meal. My brothers, my original native brothers and sisters, enjoy that holiday meal. Join me this weekend for a full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Love, light, healing energy. Spread that positivity. We are all narrators. We have the power to change the narrative one post at a time online. My tagline is the Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time. But we're all narrators. We can all change the narrative to some small capacity, one post at a time, meaning whatever you post online, make sure it's positive as possible about, especially if it's reflective of our people and our culture. That's how we destroy the negative stereotypes. So, we're all narrators to some small capacity. So do your due diligence as a narrator and share that positive content. But definitely join me this weekend for a full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Thanks for listening. I'm signing off. Narrative Halsey Allen, the Narrative Podcast, signing off. And it's like that.
Listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.